And we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello. It's a special moment in time in history. It's a very special moment. It's two. I mean, I think the universe has definitely decided for us when the version 2 should be out. And, I'm so happy, that we are doing it at such a special moment, because I do believe that once you see the version 2, I really believe that, we're going to be able to look back one day and remember this date. And at least we're going to have no problems remembering it. And then you are part of it. Because the color grading might change, I actually strongly believe that what I'm going to show you today is going to affect the way how we're going to grade in the future. As a matter of fact, I believe that other color grading software applications are going to work in a way how Colourlab Ai version 2 is working. I actually think that this is a really an interesting thing that's happening for us and for our industry and for the world in general, for color most of all. I basically also wanted to kind of say something, before I start showing you the application, that my kind of personal reflection on everything that happened in the last 6 months almost. I always believe that that the kind of with each new release that things are just gonna get easier. And you just get better at it, and you kind of it just becomes the whole new release is kind of just becoming an easier thing to do. But this is not true. It just gets harder and harder. I mean, this version 2 was much harder than version 1. I mean, version 1 was a heroic effort, I have to tell you, but the version 2 was harder. And if you believe how is this possible, actually it was really possible. We put so much effort into this, and actually there is still a lot of things that we have on our plate. So what we're releasing today is a public beta. You're probably aware of it, that this is the best way how to kind of get software to be immaculate. You work on it and you make it so good that it's just ready for a public beta and for you guys to help us finish it. And at the end of the day, every little feature in Colourlab is created for you, and it's been shaped by you and your feedback. First of all, I want to go and thank to all the people who have helped us, and without them, this definitely wouldn't have happened. Number one, I want to thank to my partner, Mark Peterson. And I have to say, Mark, I don't think that I would have done this with anybody else. And I don't want to, I can't imagine if anybody else, to do this, with, and it's just amazing thing to have such a partner like you are. And it's been wonderful journey, and I enjoy every little minute of working with you. And I think this is great. What you achieved so far and everything was fantastic. So thank you, Mark. I also want to thank our development team, and especially I want to thank Anton Marini. Anton Marini was with us from the version 1, but at this version he stepped up. And he has taken over the kind of, the main lead development role. He has, led the whole team. Especially, I want to thank as well David and Ray from Whitfox for amazing contribution and everything they have created. It's just amazing what they're doing. I also want to thank to David Egan and Tom Butterworth, our developers who were looking after our new integrations for Final Cut and Adobe Premiere. And of course, Igor, who has been always there to help us with all DaVinci issues. So thank you guys, and I'm sorry that I had to, keep you working long hours. But I'm sure, we're all going to feel proud of this, because, this is just a, special release. My special thanks also goes to Bettina Sekani. Bettina is not just a wonderful person, and she's also a most talented UI designer. She's responsible for the new user interface, and she created, such a, wonderful, kind of outline, and we love her style. And Bettina, we love working with you, and thank you for great work. And I'm really looking forward to, continuing finessing our UI. I think the application looks and feels so much better, primarily thanks to your contribution. I also want to thank our, co-founder and advisor, Steve Bays, for, being there for us all the time and helping us with advice. And my personal thanks goes to Josh Pines. He's my mentor, and, originally I always thought Josh is going to teach me all things about color, but actually I didn't even think how much he taught me about software development. It's just, and thank you, Josh, for our, regular calls and updates and mentorship you have provided. I certainly, I'm indebted to you for the rest of my life for everything you taught me so far. My special thank you goes to actually Josh and Jason Diamond. They're our latest investors in a company, and as you can imagine, a development of application like this has run well over 7 figures. And Josh and Jason were one of the early investors in Frame.io, and they have decided that their next bet is going to be Colourlab Ai, and I really, really thank you for believing in us and supporting us on this journey. So what I wanted to say as well is that you will see this particular version of Colourlab Ai is going to come with a demo material and also material that we're using in our website. And I want you to know, that this is actually a movie called Kepler 138 that was created and directed by Jacob Schwartz from Mystery Box. And you can actually see this movie on YouTube. It's been out for maybe a couple of years, but when I saw it, it really brought tears to my eyes. It's a wonderful story about a father, letting his daughter, become an astronaut, and her exploring a remote planet. And it's just such a wonderful story. Something that I believed it's going to happen to me. Maybe one day my daughter is also going to be an astronaut, I always thought. So it's a very, very, very emotional movie, and I'm so thankful for Jacob for letting us use this wonderful footage and be able to, demo the, Colourlab with it. Further, I have more thank yous. We're not done. Actually, the next thing I want to tell you, that every release we dedicate to a person. The release 1 was Alan Watts, the modern day philosopher, and this release is dedicated to Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell is somebody that you should know, especially if you love action movies, especially if you're a fan of Star Wars or any other big kind of movies. But actually, the reason why I really, really like Joseph was because of the book he created, which is called Hero's Journey. And I believe somehow in every one of us there is this kind of little kind of hero, and definitely Joseph has kind of helped us with that. So this release is definitely dedicated to him. I also want to announce some winners. As I said earlier, Colourlab Ai is shaped based on users' needs and desires. We are 100% focused to hear from our users and understand what they need and how they work and make their work easier and better. And we did surveys, and as a part of this service, we have offered to give away free licenses. And here are the winners of our Colourlab Ai survey. This is John Iverberg, Vigliansi Adrian, Simon Harris, Ben Pasco, and Felipe Pinto Silva. Guys, thank you very much. Your contribution and your submission has definitely helped us make this application much better and understand how we need to develop it and what features you need more than any others. Okay? And now we're going to go to version 2. But before I go to version 2, I just want to one more time have a look at version 1. And just have a look at it, because once you look at version 1, and once you see the version 2, I don't think you will ever want to look at the version 1 again. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is a Colourlab AI version 2, and I'm just going to try to quickly, take you through the new interface, through some new features. There is quite a few of them, but we'll try to be like as, good as possible and try to show you everything that's happening. So the first thing that you're going to see, of course, is that there is this new panel here, and this panel is called Match Reference. So this is a completely new concept that we're introducing here, where basically instead of us, having a match reference as a still image or match reference as a clip on the timeline, now we have a global match reference. And what's really interesting, as you can see, is that this match reference can be auto color. And, I certainly, can't believe I'm building an autocolor, because one of the first things that my teacher told me was never use any autocolor. However, this autocolor is a little bit different. And we have a new thing which is called AI reference. I'm going to explain you a little bit how that works. Here is our viewer. Here on the top end of the viewer, you can change and you can view things like, what something looks like as a 7 or 9, right? And then what something looks like for example, as a flat image. Here in this particular corner, what we have is an ability to change different views. So I can go and view it like, as a side-by-side like this, or I could be able to view it like this, or I could be able still to have this gorgeous quad view that I really like, or I'm able to go and view everything in the full screen. So, the controls are just a little bit, kind of more intuitive than, what we had in the past. Here, our tabs are kind of your libraries, and here what we have is 2 tabs. One's called Show Looks, and another one's called AI References. So maybe we can just start with Show Looks and see what they are. The first thing you're going to notice is that now Colourlab Ai comes with look packs, and we're going to continue to release look packs. Every month we're going to drop a new look pack, a new show LUT, a new pack of show LUTs effectively. So what you can do is you can just basically go and use the kind of the classic way that we use to kind of just, developing, looks based on some sort of show look that you selected. I also have this kind of great analog looking, profiles, as well as, something like this. I really like this Rachel. Actually, La Brea Rachel is kind of my favorite, that I felt like it really works good for this particular shot. Okay. Now I want to show you as well, how this works in terms of the, auto color. So, I'm just going to quickly just remove this, show look. And you see now we have a new control here. This is something that we didn't have in the past. This is where you control your show look. And, you can change the intensity of the show look here, for example, like this, right? Or, you can reset it, put a new one or something like that. But I want to just show you a little bit how auto color works. And all you have to do is just make sure you're on auto color mode. And then here, in this particular end, are controls for auto matching. So the first, the teal button says, hey, match the frame. The second one says, hey, match the shot. The third one is copy. And then we have an auto exposure. I'm just going to go and match to the frame now. And you see straight away what I got is like a basically nice kind of, we haven't really made auto match to be like 7 or 9. We really tried to make it a little bit filmic, warmer, kind of skin tones and a little bit roll off in the highlight. We believe this is probably what kind of a regular colorist would be kind of doing and making looks like that. Okay, so what also we have introduced is crazy, that we didn't have it, but now actually we do, is ability to multi-select clips. So I can just select a couple of clips like that, just pressing this button, and bang, I have auto matched them as well. So now they all look pretty much the same. Okay. Now here, for example, this is my auto match for this particular shot. Then I could, for example, go and say, well, hang on a moment. Let me maybe just kind of go and now build some sort of my own AI reference or my own look or something like that. So let me show you how that would work. So considering that maybe this shot is a really good shot for this, I'm just going to go and apply this kind of show that I selected earlier that I liked. Okay, so you see now this show that's applied, and then I'm going to click on this red button here which says, hey, it's like a record. Hey, make AI reference. And as you can see now here, we have changed the mode from auto color to AI reference. And this is your AI reference, and it consists of a reference image and of a show LUT. Okay, so what I can do now, I can, for example, go and, say, well, you know what? I want to actually match all of my timeline, and just give everything just to this, kind of, auto match pass that is just going to give and, the whole sequence some sort of, like a look, apply everything look just in a kind of first pass. Okay, so now that I've done it, you probably notice that, application is much faster. We are, much smarter in the way how we use application, but also, we have optimized it heavily, for M1X processors, and, you're going to see significant speed increase. Now, I want to show another feature that was there, but we have just further refined it, which is, one of my favorite features, which is called auto exposure, right? So what you do is you click on this button here, and then you just select somewhere on the screen how and what you want to adjust, or which part of an image you want to adjust. And then what's going to happen, if you look here on the scopes, I can switch to EL zones. I can see where exactly my exposure lives, okay? And now my camera is in a way, but let me just actually just show you without, there we go. So now you can see basically here, what parts of my image, and then I can also go and adjust here, what level of exposure I want for that particular part. Do I want to have it at a 2-stop, only 1-stop, or, or I want to have it at a 0-stop, my neutral gray. I think, -1 is much better for this particular shot. Okay? So this is kind of, how, the AI matching works, but also just so you can also fine tune. And now this is a perfect moment for me to introduce you to a new feature, which is called Color Tune. So what you do here on the left side, there is this little kind of, color icon. You just click on that. And when you open this color icon, first thing you have is you have all the different match options. And I usually find that this is my first point. If I find that my AI match hasn't quite done a good job, I first go and I start with the right setting, with the right option. And I can maybe just go and click here side by side, and I can see, yeah, the colors are now much better. It's much closer, but I need to refine it further. And then basically this is your color match engine, but in a semi, manual mode, so to say. So what you see is each one of these parameters that we are adjusting inside an image through AI is now available to you also to adjust it manually. So you can now click, for example, onto exposure, right? And I can say, oh, maybe just give me a little bit more exposure. Or you can click onto density, and you can decide, oh, do I want to have a more density or less density? But you see it visually. You don't need to operate any controls. You see exactly, where, this, needs to sit, or how this should work, So then I can also do it with the contrast. I'm happy with contrast. I can also, fine tune my color. I can add a little bit more color, or a little bit less color, a little bit cooler, a little bit warmer, right? I can also change the temperature here, right? And I can say maybe a little cooler and a little bit saturation at the end. When I'm happy, I just say apply, and now I got, this image to look, perfectly matched to what I really wanted to have. So this is basically kind of, a semi-manual mode of working, okay? All right, so the next thing then we're going to do is I want to show you what are AI references, because here this shot you see it tried to match exposure, which is completely wrong. So what we have now is something here. If you look in your AI reference tab, there is another thing which is called Smart LUTs. So here it's called Smart LUTs, okay? And the Smart LUTs, if you click on it, is basically a library that we have created for you. So this is our attempt to evolve the 3D LUTs, or these, show looks that we've been just using. What we want to do now is we want to build looks that are automatically adjusting themselves based on your source. And we are not just, applying a look. We are modifying look based to what your outcome is. So it includes what we call a fingerprint, and fingerprint is the way how we store an image description. So for example, I could now, for example, click on this image here, right? And now this is my AI reference, and I could say, okay, give me now this as my reference. And as you can tell, oh, it did a pretty good job. But I could also click on something like this and say, well, how about this? and then it's also going to try to match like that. As you can see, it's doing actually a pretty good job. I love it. So you see, the smart LUTs are really what I believe is going to be a new frontier in our attempt to kind of, make looks a little bit more consistent and transportable. You probably know that the show look works just on particular type of shots, the particular exposure, where smart LUTs don't really have that problem. They also are all automatically categorized using our AI engine, and they're helping understand what needs to work and how. So I'm actually going to say, you know what, this is a perfect looking, image. How about I can now just copy and paste this look to another shot? So I just right mouse click, say copy shot look. I click here and I say paste shot look. Boom. Now, basically, I think I'd be better off if I just go and smart match this one as well. Perfect. This is good. Now I can go to the next shot. Now, for example, in these shots here, I want to go and apply completely different look. And this is another level of what we're allowing you to do, is we're allowing you to actually just go and bring stills. I have done so just before this event, and I went to my favorite website for still images called ShotDeck, and there I have downloaded some images. So let's see what they are. So I have something like, for example, a Martian. Okay, should we try it to see what's going to happen if I apply a Martian look to this image? Oh, not too bad. But how about if I go and maybe apply something like, from the movie called The Searchers? Let's see that. How is that going to work? Oh, interesting. The Searchers are looking like this, right? And so on. So you can really go and grab, the kind of the scenarios that you want, or the looks that you want from different types of shots. Maybe this one. Let's see what this one's going to do. Oh, this is really a nice one. I really love this one. Or maybe this one. Let me check. I actually never sure. Sometimes you just have to go and play with it and figure out what you want. I really like this shot. So what I'm also going to do now is I'm also going to show you something that we call versions. Okay, so this is what we didn't have in the past. We didn't have like a history undos. Now you just click onto versions, and I can just go and select and see, hey, I can re-addition which shot, which look is the look that I like the most out of the ones I've just created there. Okay, now I can go and refine this look further. Maybe I like it like this, but maybe I want to refine it further. Okay, so now this is what needs to happen in a look design. Now, you told us that number one feature you liked about Colourlab Ai was Look Designer. Now check this out. The Look Designer is now completely redesigned. We have a completely new eye, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. It feels like an analog piece of equipment. It feels like an old amplifier, like an old analog kind of, valve thing that you want to use, right? And it just really, it's helping us. So for example, if I want to just add a little bit red, I can just add that a little bit red like this, like for example, maybe just I can do it in offset, and I can just add a little bit red, make it a little bit warmer like this. Maybe I can make it warmer like this as well. I can tweak it. I have here midtones, saturation. I can adjust a little bit contrast. But check this out. We have a full photochemical processing available to you as well. Now I click onto the film lab, right? Now look at this now. I can now go and say, well, I can use different film stocks. Remember, we always had those great stocks. Now they are available to you as well. Let me go and, kind of work with some sort of, Reala, for example, right? Let's do that. Okay. Then I can go and print it to a certain film stock. Why not? Let's go and print it to some Kodak stock. Beautiful. This is nice. And then I can go also and apply some sort of nice filmic contrast, right? Then I have a new setting, which is called crunch. Crunch is something that happens when we do optical printing. There is a little effect. It's kind of, looks like a local contrast, but actually it is totally something that you can put in a lookup table. It's not, any, kind of, crazy processing. It's a really an optical effect that happens in a printing process. Then I have some sort of science here. Like this is everything, by the way, here happens in subtractive color. So the moment signal enters here on the left-hand side and until it comes out, it's all happening running in subtractive, and you're probably aware of the beauty of our subtractive color. And now normally this is where I would go and where I would fine tune so that my image kind of matches tonally. And you see, this is so easy. When you have references that come from film, and when you work in subtractive, things just fall into place by themselves, because it's using exactly the same method of color processing that is actually available in film. I don't think that anything is as tactile, as intuitive when it comes to getting those beautiful hues that film gives us as the subtractive controls. And then here I'm going to go and limit my output to film print emulation, because we normally work in wide gamut, but when I switch on FPE, I'm then able to go and limit it, and there we go. You see, this is now my look, and this is my kind of side by side. I think we did a pretty good job. Okay. So now just go back into grade, and this particular show LUT is now kind of available to me now. I'm going to go now and make this be my reference, okay? And now I'm going to go to this shot, and I'm going to go and match this shot. Now, probably going to say, well, he didn't do a very good job. And the reason why I didn't do a very good job is probably because it's trying to preserve the exposure. So all you do is, again, you go into auto exposure, you just select this part that you want. This is the one that I want to have it zeroed, and bang, things have just, got really nicely working for you. Check this out. I wanna just use to see this as a beautiful drone shot, and then, woo! I absolutely love this. I love when things are working. Hey, by the way, did I tell you that, our scopes can be now popped out? I don't think I did. Yeah, you can pop out scopes, and, you can move them. You can do anything with them you want. You can resize them, put them where you want. You can also work in a dual mode. You can also compare them side by side. You can even have scopes side by side, and you can even have a Lachman zone side by side. This is your reference, right? And this is everything but in a single mode. And by the way, now all your LUT testing is a single click. I can just click on tone map and see what's happening with my tone map curve. I can straight away see how my saturation processing is doing, and what my luminance processing is doing. I am super, I have all those tools that I need, that normally, to build amazing looks available to me on a single click. And did I also say that HDR is a single click as well? So look, all I do now is I click here on my output, and I'm going to say, hey, this is going to be delivered for Netflix. I just click Netflix HDR. This screen now automatically shows you down conversion, and now these scopes now automatically show us the nits, the nit values. But at the moment, we still have to show you the actual SDI output, not the screen output. So we're working on that. This is all going to be this is why we're calling it little beta. There is still little quirks we have to go and fix and sort out. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is improvement we did with the camera matching. Okay, so I'm just going to go and do a new project. Let's not save it, because I'm probably going to have this, too many times. And then I'm just going to go and select my camera match. All right, so what I got here is 4 different cameras. Okay, and I don't know what they are. And I'm just going to say open, and check this out. Bang! We got all cameras recognized. They automatically, just based on the camera metadata, we're able to figure out, hey, this is all the kind of, cameras that that you have used, and we're going to help you with that. Okay, so now I got this going. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to make one camera your hero. So let's say I'm going to make this camera my hero. Right? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to, as you can tell, they're all a little bit, different. And then what you're going to do is you're going to select those cameras that you want to match, okay? And then you're going to press auto match, right? Or AI match, right? The AI is going to go and analyze, your material. Okay, and once it has completed, right, it's going to give you the results. However, for camera fine matching, what you need to do is you need to open Color Tune and you need to select RGB mode. So the cameras are best matched when you have them like, when you want to have exactly like this, similarity. When you want to have this kind of very great similarity, you want to be in RGB mode, because that's where we're trying to really pixel peep and try to make it for you like that. And there we go. Now we got all our cameras, looking and matching absolutely fine. So this is another, great feature that I actually I'm kind of, so happy with, because we have the ITs who need to do this all the time. And also you guys, you told us, I have always, I think there was a number 2 request. You said, I need to match cameras. They're like, okay, let's go and make these cameras better. We actually have, more ideas how we're going to make this better, but, just watch this space. All right, and then I want to also show you something which is basically, what Steve Jobs would say, one more thing. And this one more thing I deliberately left for last, because this is one feature that, didn't exist ever before. Some people have attempted to create it. It didn't really exist, it didn't really work. It's something that colorists do all the time. But, the reality was that we always had to do it manually. And what I'm talking about is this. When you're working, when you're color grading, like this movie, like Kepler movie, right? What you want to do is you kind of want to go and group your shots a little bit, because if you do that, that allows you then to kind of work faster. You can then, check that things are matching, and especially type of cut like Kepler, because we have 2 stories going in parallel. There is a story happening on another planet, and there is a dad on planet Earth, and so we're constantly cutting between the 2. It's not scene based. It's actually constantly like intercut. So how to basically help yourself get organized so that you really actually, can work faster. So what we got is something called Timeline Intelligence, and it's another tab here at the bottom. So just click on Timeline Intelligence. And what the Timeline Intelligence is going to do is following. So look, whatever was the first shot you selected, the Timeline Intelligence, and you can see here there is a little sign, that tells you, hey, you're in Timeline Intelligence mode. So this is just for you guys to be able to know, hey, I'm not in normal mode. There's this little TI here, okay? And what Timeline Intelligence does, it sorts your timeline based on similarity. So you see, now it got all these shots that are from the same location to be like that. Okay, so what I can do now, basically, when I'm in when I'm in Timeline Intelligence mode, right, I can just go through all of my shots, right, and then I can just go and see, oh, okay, why am I not in Timeline Intelligence? Now I'm in a grade, and now I'm Timeline Intelligence mode. There we go. Thank you very much. All right, so now what I can do is I can go, here is your timeline, view chronologically. So look, I can just click on this shot here, and now it showed me all the shots that are similar. So you see, all these shots now are all kind of, similar. Look, so I'm basically able to go and say, oh, this one, this one, this one, this one. They all actually feel the same, right? So I could say, well, this is now going to be my reference, right? And I want all of these shots, right, to match, because, no matter how, actually this one's probably slightly different, so I won't select this one, and I'm just going to say, go ahead and match these shots. So what's going to do now is just going to go and basically perform quickly the analysis, and going to go and do it. This is now using original 4K source. So this is not, this is true camera raw 4K, and you can see the speed of analysis and processing that we have. And now this shot looks a little bit funny. Let me just go and check why. And one more thing. This is the one that's this one, and there is this one here. So now I think, everything is like a little bit slowing down, because, there we go. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go and fix my exposure a little bit. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, there is another thing that you can do with Timeline Intelligence. You can just go and you can click here in Timeline Intelligence button, and you have here ability to sort shots by types. So you can say, hey, give me all close-ups. Now all you see on your timeline is close-ups. right? Or you could say, hey, give me only wides. Now it sees only wides. What's really important to mention that this is not somebody tagging for you, going shot by shot and marking them. This is AI engine that we use for color matching, that we use to analyze the content of the shot in order to create a better match, analyzing your material and just giving you them sorted, and you can go and create your own groups, and you can start putting them into groups. You can say, give me all exteriors, give me all interiors. How about that? Look at this. You have all the interiors. Hey, give me only day shots, right? And then these are all day shots. Or give me only night shots. Oh, great. Or give me night and exterior. Oh, how about that? There we go. This is all night. It thinks this is night. And this is thinks it also is night. It's a little dark, yeah? But it is all night and exterior. So you see what that means? Like, it's absolutely wonderful to what we can do. And then you can also go and create your own group, and you can say whatever. This is my, garden scene. Okay, and then I can just go and into my all shots, right? And then I'm gonna go and find this particular garden shots, and then be able to sort out by them. So now if I click on these garden shots here, it's gonna sort them out, and now I can just go and drag them, drop them, and make them all into my group. So this is just kind of like how they say, a glimpse into possibilities and how AI is going to be able to help us to work smarter and better. Okay? Wow. So yes, I hope you guys like this. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope loving it. But wait, I have one more piece of amazing news for you. What it is. So first of all, if you go to Colourlab.ai, you're going to be able to download public beta now. The moment you download it, you will get a free trial, 7 days, completely free of charge. You don't have to register, do anything. You just open application, and for 7 days you can use it. It's all yours. Okay? If you are already Colourlab AI user, you can download it now. Okay, but keep it in mind, it's still in public beta. It's still kind of, work in progress. Okay? And then another thing I also want to show you. We have significantly reduced the price of Colourlab AI. Now we have a version called Creator that cost only $129 per year. This is only $129 per year. This is probably less than what you spend on some sort of show LUTs panel. And with this, you're gonna get a monthly new show LUTs and everything, delivered to you. So this is just a kind of to begin with, And here is another good news. The Pro version that now comes with all DaVinci Resolve plugins, okay, is $299. So basically the Pro version is only $299. You're gonna need the Pro version if you want to work with DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve will require Pro version. You can't do anything less than Pro for obvious reasons, because if you're working with DaVinci, you're certainly Pro colorist and you need Pro features. The Creator version does not have a look designer feature enabled. You can do everything I showed you, but you can't design your looks in a Creator. Okay, and then when I'm actually already on that part, that I'm talking about, the difference between Creator and this and that, what is very, very, very important for me is to show you following. Okay, what we have done is we have now basically created an integration with Final Cut Pro and with Adobe Premiere. Okay, so let me kind of, quickly just open Final Cut on my computer to show you how that works. I think it's really elegant. I was told by, product managers, and people who work for Apple that this is the most elegant, integration that they have seen. Okay, so what I got now is let's say this scenario. I'm an editor. I'm an editor and I just got this little scene and I want to cut it, but it came to me log and it's shot with 2 different cameras, just to make things a little bit more difficult. Now look, I don't want to be a colorist. I only want to edit, but I just want these things to look good, and I don't want to win an award for the best color. I just want to get it sorted very quickly for me. So what you do is you just drag and drop, the sequence, and this sequence is now going to go and open into Colourlab. You just drag and drop. No need to export anything. Okay, so then you say, well, what they told me my main camera was Ai, so I'm going to go and select this to be my Ai camera, and then the second camera was red. Oh my God, matching red and Ai. This is kind of such a hard work. If you ever try to do it yourself, especially using those tools like inside Final Cut. Oh my God. All right. So what you do now is you have to just tell Colourlab, because this is transcoded material, just to make things more realistic, you got somehow things transcoded as you do. So what you want to do is you want to select or B camera. So this is B, and then which one is this? Is B here. And this is now also B and B. This is A, and this is B and B. Okay, so I'm going to take the B camera and drag it and drop it onto red. So now I told Colourlab, hey, this is red camera, and already Colourlab matched the camera look for you. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and make sure that I'm on auto color, and I'm just going to quickly go and say match all. So the auto color is just going to go through it and just going to basically analyze it, and based on a kind of, the whatever we think, these shots are, is going to do and perform auto match analysis for you. You don't worry about it. You just let it run. Okay? Perfect. So now it performed the auto color. Excellent. One more thing. Perfect. Now what you can do is you can go and just quickly check it and go like, oh my God, look at it, looking actually really nicely balanced, right? This one looks a little bit too bright, so you can click here and say, which is the brightest shot? This one. You know what? Let me just fix it. I want this to be my kind of, I want this to be on 0 exposure, because, I assume that, cinematographer has made all of these be neutrally exposed. How about I get this guy here to be on 0? It was very close. This one here, show me the brightest frame, show me the best matching frame. Oh, perfect. This one here, I make this also 1. So that's it. I've just basically gone it. I balanced it. I only wanted to kind of just make things look really kind of, now I can work with it. I can edit with it. Okay? Then what I do is I just say like this, Final Cut Pro push. I'm not going to save this project. And then I'm going to go and say, hey, put it into this library, right? And then it's going to create a new project for you. And then when I click on this project, what you get is straight away all this color that you have created in real time, playing back on your timeline with no render, nothing. Because we have a plugin called Colourlab Ai that gets applied, once you install Colourlab, we in the background figure out if you have a Final Cut or Adobe, and we install these plugins, and these plugins get called upon, and that basically then just gets applied, and because they are metal accelerated, they play in real time, so you get all of these kind of beautiful color decisions and matching you just created inside Colourlab playing back inside Final Cut Pro. The same thing is going to work for Adobe. We are almost there. We're almost there. We're 90% there. This release that we're pushing out today still has a little quirks with it, but we're actually, got some response from Adobe about it, and we are really working. We're getting great support from them, and, we hope to have it all actually, sorted, very soon for you as well. So the Adobe workflow is going to be exactly the same. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I tried, as I promised, to be as quick as possible, but it was almost, I don't know how many, 40 minutes or something like that. I can see the chat has been busy. I honestly didn't manage to look at the chat. I was so busy just showing this application, and guys, I can't tell you how much I'm excited for all of us, actually, that we can actually color grade in a much simpler way. Certainly, your jobs, your finishing, you're still going to do in the same possible way. But, getting to the point where things just look good, they're balanced, is just going to be such an easy way to do it for us. And there are some jobs that don't really need hours and hours of reading, that you just want to be able to kind of, do looks effortlessly and be able to match cameras effortlessly and be able to solve all these problems that we just kind of have, when we work and the way how we work today. Thank you, Ivan, as well. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you love it. Tomorrow I'm going to the Hollywood Post Alliance event in Palm Springs, and I'm gonna share this with the top of the crop of the Hollywood post-production community. This is gonna be our kind of introduction of AI to the Hollywood Post. We're going to launch a brand new training course for Colourlab Ai 101, where you're going to be able to learn this inside out. There's going to be more videos, and as I said, we're just finishing and putting all those kind of, loose ends together. I'm so, guys, happy to see this response from you, that you're really loving it. Go ahead, download the beta, download the trial. If you have a license, just open it, start using it, and let us know. Help at colourlab.ai is where we're going to be able to get any feedback or anything like that. Also, if you are on Discord server, we have a channel, dedicated for this release, so we can go and discuss things like there as well. And as I said, we made this for you. You have shaped this application to be like this. It was your feedback and your input that made this happen, and I can't thank you enough for being part of this wonderful community. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon with some more exciting announcements and everything. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the 22nd February 22 version 2. See you soon. Bye bye.